Good evening, scholars. I am Gulrez Jafri by name. I am here once again to discuss a chapter. The name of the chapter is The Last Lesson. The Last Lesson is one of the finest chapter of class 12 book. This is the first chapter of the book, but the name of the chapter is The Last Lesson. This is ironical. A question has been raised on this has been asked regarding this as to what is the irony in the title of the chapter. So, the irony is that the last lesson is the first lesson of the chapter. The writer of this chapter is Alphonse Daudet. He was born in 1840 and died in 1897. He was a French novelist and story writer, and he is famous for this writing. He is famous for this chapter, and this chapter is taught all over the world because this chapter talks of Franco-Prussian War. Prussian defeated French and they tried to dominate them and they tried to impose their language. They wanted that German language should be taught in the schools of France as well. So they captured two districts. They captured two districts of France. The name of the two districts are the name of the two districts are Alsace and Lorraine. These two districts were captured by Prussian soldiers, Prussian country. Now, when the chapter opens up, there was a boy named Franz. Franz is the narrator of the story. He, from this chapter, it seems that he is not much interested in studies, in taking classes. And what happens when the chapter starts? He is in hurry. He is in hurry and going to school. And he thinks that he is late for his school, but he was actually not for late for his school. And when he was going hurriedly, some men from the some person who was standing near the bulletin board, he said, hey bub, why are you in such a hurry? School is not late. You're not late. You will get to your school on time. And when he was approaching to school, he saw that the weather was fine. He saw that the birds were chirping. He saw that Prussian soldiers were drilling. And all these things were fascinating. He was fascinated by all these things. So there was an emergence of thought in his mind that he would bunk the class today. But he did not bunk the class. He went to school. But when he went to school, why he was hesitant? Why was he hesitant to go to school? Because Mr. Hamill was going to ask the questions on participles. Participles is a part of grammar like subject, verb, preposition and conjunction. These are also part of, and participle is also a part of grammar. So M Hamill was going to ask questions on participle, and he was not ready at all. I said it to you in the beginning that he does not seem to be interested in studies. So he's late for school, and when he reached the school, there was a big crowd near bulletin board. Why there was a crowd? The villagers were gathered there. The villagers were gathered there. Why they were gathered there? Because now in the schools of France, French language will not be taught. So they were very upset. Nobody was talking. And The commotion, the clamor, the din, the noise, every day, a school witness was not there at all. And when he reached the class, he thought that he will be rebuked, he will be scolded by M. Hamill. Why? Because M. Hamill was a strict teacher, was a very nice teacher, was a very good teacher. Okay, so what happens? When he entered the class, when he peeped through windows, there was a pin drop silence. No commotion was there, no din was there, no clamor was there, no noise was there. So he was stunned to see all these things. Okay, why is it like that? So hesitatingly, he entered the class. He asked for permission. He asked M. Hamill to enter the class. He was given permission, and very politely he gave permission. And Franz, the boy, the little boy, sat on the bench. And it was the first time that villagers were sitting in the class at the last benches. They were sitting in the class and they were all silent. Everybody was silent. M. Hamill, having the ruler under his arm, he was walking here and there in the class. The face of him was expressionless. The face of him was not presenting a good look. So this why? Because he was acquainted, he was cognizant of the fact that French will not be taught in the schools of France any longer. So that makes him distraught. That made him distraught. And so what happened? He taught them grammar at that day. Franz, the narrator, was asked the question on participle, but he did not answer the questions. Why did he not answer the questions? Because he was not much involved in his study, he was not much interested in his studies. When he came to know that this is the last day of M. Hamill, he forgot the ruler. He forgot about the ruler of M. Hamill. Why? Because he was the man, the M. Hamill, who had been teaching for almost 40 years. He will not be any longer part of this school. So there was an emergence of sadness, there was an emergence of gloominess in his mind, and he also could not utter anything, kept on thinking over. And what happens? What happens? So they were given they were given the last lesson, and after that, some work was done in the name of writing as well. And M. Hamill, who was wearing the nicest clothes, means very often the clothes he has worn today, he very often used to wear these clothes on inspection day or prize day. And it is going to be the last lesson in French language. He was very upset, very pale looking. So, what happens? He turned towards the blackboard. He wanted to say something. He spoke twice, I, but could not utter. Something choked, there was a suffocation in his throat. He could not utter anything. Then what he did? He wrote on the blackboard, on the board, Vive la France. The meaning of this, uh, the meaning of this language, the meaning of this phrase, the meaning of this sentence is, Vive la France means may France live long. And he said he wanted to say something, but at this very time, the church clock struck 12. It indicated that the school is going to be over. Saying nothing, he said that school stands dismissed. You may go to your classes. But before this, what he thought, what he taught, he said that French language is the most beautiful language, is the clearest language of this planet Earth. And when on the roof, pigeons were cooing, pigeons were making sound. When they were cooing, Franz, in his thought that will they impose their German language on this innocent pigeons as well? Will they compel these pigeons to speak German language? Though this was the thought of Franz. Now the school got over, and M. Hamill said, "You may go to your home." Thank you so much.